So, Dave Foster here. I'm trying to promote my animation as a resolution of existence using whole and part thinking in the animated film to present the Gospel of Matthew.
I love my
So,
job.
the first 5 episodes of HESUS Joy
Understand the building's
Christ
building.
begin with the one behind me, HESUS Joy Christ, Matthew's 2:4, the 24th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew, normally taken as signs of the end of the age. So, who are you and why should you watch it? Well, if you're lost, disillusioned, hopeful, but losing hope, or hopeless and not finding any hope, all that kind of stuff, the classic fix everything, right? Yeah, I know. So, without purpose, you've been hurt by the church or any other faith, and you're frustrated with inclusion, that nobody promotes inclusion, or you're frustrated with diversity, that nobody is standing up for the individual and their rights. You're longing for the joy of childhood, what you once knew if you were so lucky, and you're fearful, confused, excluded because you don't want to join all these inclusive groups, or you've been excluded because you are joining the inclusive groups and people outside these groups are frustrating you. You're angered by church, you're angered by politics,
Understand the building's
building. Fed up, and you could even be in pain or suffering.
As always.
Well, whole and part thinking resolves a lot of this and puts you in a position where you can forgive the other for their pursuit of part masculine or whole feminine, of diversity, the individual, or the pursuit of the community.
When lost, stay there.
Basically, pretty much everybody. I've eliminated both sides of my market by talking about religious topics to secular audiences, and by talking about secular issues in the gospel, the truths of the gospel, with religious audiences, because I have no religious authority. Anyways, the whole thing just snowballs. You got to see the animation. It's the clearest, most succinct presentation of whole and part thinking that I can come up with. I've worked on it for over 10 years, beginning with Hypothermia, My Kayak Prayer, a 35mm animated film that I completed in 2008 over about 4 years, maybe 10 years. Matthew's 5:9 is the biggest production yet. It was completed over 10 years from
the building's building.
About 2012 until 2020.
Joyful as always.
So there's a lot of animation. It's all at
the gangster of love.
Where are we here?
Swing too wildly when the
animating in their image.ca.
Blow up and you're sucked in.
You can view it all for free.
Triage
for with a free 3-hour subscription at the bottom of the list of subscriptions.
Stay there.
And
there's
no payment information required. You just subscribe for free for 3 hours as often as you like, and just it's fun, it's silly,
it's personal,
and it's very insightful.
Yell it too loud.
Cuts away the chaff, I'll tell you. So, what do I want to talk about today? Well, this is the first in a series of videos that I'll be doing discussing HESUS Joy Christ animation with respect to whole and part thinking. Whole and part thinking I write about daily in reference to the daily liturgical readings. I've done it for over 3 years on each liturgical year, A, B, and C. It can be found on Facebook. If you find me, David Foster, on Facebook, search VID93208 on Facebook. You'll probably find me. Go to my saved posts and look for whatever you want, year A, year B, or C. You can also search hashtag whole and part thinking.
Blow up and you're sucked in.
So hashtag whole,
hashtag
or underscore, hashtag whole underscore and underscore part underscore thinking. So anyways, this is my second crack at making these videos, so we'll see how well they do. But so basically, the Gospel of Matthew, which just means the good news in the book of Matthew in the Bible, chapter 24, 2-4, is generally considered signs of the end of the age. I take it as the beginning end of this age of HESUS Joy Christ. Yeah, that's preposterous or promotional, I know. So basically, if you take the attitude that everybody worships, and by worshiping I mean what will they deny themselves in favor of? whether
Understand the Billings
it's
building.
rational or it's emotional. What
When
will
will
they
we see you
deny
joyful
their
as
self
always?
in favor of?
Some not cowboy.
So if you take it that way,
Some
everybody
gangster
worships,
love.
and it just becomes a matter
Swing
of
too
what
wildly
do
when the
you
shepherd
worship.
steps.
I find
Blow up and you're
most
sucked in.
people at the pinnacle of their
Triage
worship, they
inappropriate
worship
if
the
diagnosis
individual,
decapitating.
analysis,
When last stay there.
rationalism, masculinity,
Golden mean visits if mental patience.
all kinds of stuff like this, reductionism. Okay, today's society, since at least the 80s, has been promoting inclusion, feminine, community.
Don't yell, I get it, too loud.
Just a number of things like that. And people get frustrated. They get frustrated that people won't act on behalf of the community, and they get frustrated that people won't act on behalf of the individual. The community denies the individual denies the community. And it's just frustrating. So if you take the approach that everybody worships, most people worship inclusion, the community, feminine, the divine is feminine or holistic, or most people at the peak of their worship
understand the Billings building.
Worship structure, reductionism, reducing everything to its basic parts to know it.
Some not cowboy.
Masculinity, the men do the work, the women just bear the benefit, whereas the other side is that the women are doing the real work and the men are just messing around playing at work. So this, when you consider both, which I refer to as part masculine or whole feminine, it goes beyond gender. So the whole gender issue is like skirted right there. Then you find yourself in chaos. If you start to consider the other, the whole to your part or the part to your whole, you find chaos. And if you're not willing to enter that chaos, you're stuck where you're at and you'll never move forward. If you are willing to enter, like the new and original, a new creation is first and foremost different. And if it is different, then it is first and foremost wrong. So if you're not willing to enter into the chaos of entertaining stuff that is wrong, well, thanks for your time. Okay. Cones.
I love my job.
K-O-A-N. They are sayings that confound the analytical, structural, emotional mind. And by meditating on them, you realize things and you learn things. Much like the rosary, much like anything you meditate on, you realize things just by meditating on them. The mysteries of the rosary, the Annunciation, the birth, the institution of the Eucharist, the Sermon on the Mount. If you don't meditate on these things, you're stuck. So
don't yell, I get
Cones,
it, too loud.
all of this animation will confound your logical mind. It will confound your emotion. You will be overwhelmed with saying, like, did he really say that? You know, like, that's wrong, that's wrong. Yes, I'm changing the words of the Bible, but what's the meaning? If my words are wrong, then what is the original meaning? And when you see the animation, you realize that there's more to it than you originally thought. Whole and part thinking rips and shreds the veil between yourself and divinity. And if you can't stand before divinity, you're going to quickly put that veil back over and replace it.
When will we see you
so,
joyful as
like,
always?
this is the kind of stuff we're dealing with. It shreds divinity. If you read the Bible, any part of it, in terms of whole and part thinking, looking at the emotions, the heart, as well as the rational, the mind, then you really start to see stuff. The parts of the rosary, the 4 sets of mysteries, the decades, the whatever, they both make sense with whole and part thinking. If you think, oh, if I just say it, then I'll magically be blessed. Well, you'll be blessed beyond your understanding, but it's not magic. If you think, oh, if I just meditate on the mysteries and just say the words of the rosary, the decades, then I'll be blessed and it'll magically work. Well, it'll work, but you won't understand how it works. Whole and part thinking gives a rational idea to all this. So, looking at my notes here, each needs the other. Men need women and women need men. Masculine needs feminine. Feminine needs masculine. Part needs whole and whole needs part. Everything that exists is both a part of a greater whole and a
Keep swinging
whole
wildly when the shepherd
full
steps.
of parts. So if
Blow up
your
and you're sucked
car is supposed to go down the road when you drive it,
diagnosis
then it's a
decapitating.
hole that you will
When
attend
lost,
to.
stay there.
If it doesn't have a
Golden
spark
mean
plug,
visits if mental
or
patience.
one's failing or one's missing,
Understanding,
that hole will not function
attention
because
sees
the
forever.
hole of the spark plug is not there. So everything is a hole.
Next time
Everything
it's
is a
personal.
part. There's not
Don't yell
one
and get it
hole.
too loud.
Artificial intelligence
By
gets this
hook
wrong.
or by
There is
crook.
not one hole of which everything else is a part to serve that hole. Every part is also a whole. The individual is a whole and valid and worthy of attention. The community is a whole full of parts, and each of the parts of that community, one for all and one all for one. So there you go. So if a lot of people think Jesus was a man entirely from a woman with his virgin birth, so
I love my job.
that's what gives him
Understand the
validity,
Billings
because he's essentially
When will
female.
we see you joyful as always?
That's false. There's a
Some
series out of
cowboy.
South America
Some
where all the
gangster
disciples and
love.
Jesus were all feminine and
Keep swinging
gay and
wildly when the
everything,
shepherd
right?
steps.
That's where you get if you think
Blow up
that
and you're
Jesus
sucked
has
in.
all the values of a woman in the
Triage
presentation of a man.
inappropriate if diagnosis
A lot of people go that way.
decapitating.
Um,
When lost, stay
Jesus
there.
is a man with full authority from
Golden
God
mean visits
because
if
he's
mental
magic, because he has a feminine
Understanding,
side, he sees the
attention
whole
sees
picture and
forever.
everything. Yeah, so like he's the authoritative
Next
man.
time it's personal.
Yeah, you can go
Don't yell
either
and get
way.
it too loud.
They're both rabbit
By
holes.
hook or by
So,
crook.
in Matthew's 2:4, the one behind me here, it's the signs of the end of the age. So basically, the disciples, it starts out with the disciples saying, "Oh, look at the glory of the temple," and Jesus says, every stone will be thrown down, and they're all kind of like, "Oh, what's he talking about?" So then they prompt him. They say, "Tell us about this, the end of the age, and when will this happen?" Who said he was talking about the end of the age? Finite things
Understand
end.
the Billings
They're
building.
finite. That's why they end. That's how
When
they
will we
end.
see you
That's how they're
joyful as
defined.
always?
So,
Some not cowboy.
define night.
To some, the gangster love.
Basically, he was talking about the end of the age. He was talking about the temple. The temple's not going to last forever.
Blow up and you're
it's,
sucked in.
It's like anything else that exists.
Triage
So,
inappropriate if diagnosis decapitating.
They ask him, "Tell us about the end
When
of the
lost,
age.
stay there.
And when will these things happen?"
Golden
and then he
mean
goes,
visits if
"Okay,
mental patience.
you want to hear about that?
On
It'll be
understanding,
bad. It'll be so
attention
bad.
sees
It'll be
forever.
bad. And then he gets into platitudes of like,
Next time it's
it'll be
personal.
like the
Don't yell and
lightning
get it too
that
loud.
comes from the east and strikes to
By
the
hook
west
or
and
by
everything. It'll
crook.
fill the sky, all this kind of stuff. Two will be at a mill, and one will be taking the other left. Don't go back to get your coat. All this kind of stuff. So it's pretty good, and you can read it in the book over here. 400 pages. It's available on lulu.com. If you search HESUS Joy Christ, you'll find 4 of my books. Not all of them are the same.
I love
One's a
my
graphic
job.
novel, just a fictional
Understand the
story.
Billings building.
There's other books.
When will we see
There's
you
also an
joyful as
ebook
always?
version, and it's
Some
400
not
pages, and it talks
cowboy.
about
To some, gangster love.
each of these 5 first
swing too
episodes
wildly
of
when the
HESUS Joy
shepherd
Christ. Matthew's 2:4,
Blow up and you're sucked in.
Matthew's 1:2,
Triage
Matthew's
inappropriate if diagnosis decapitating.
Matthew's 2,
When lost, stay
Matthew's
there.
threefold,
Golden
and
mean
Matthew's
visits if
foretold.
mental
So
patience.
there you go.
On
All available at
understanding, attention
animatingintherimage.ca right there. You can view it for
Next time
free
it's personal.
with a free 3-hour
Don't yell and get it
subscription
too
at the
loud.
bottom of the list of subscriptions.
By
No
hook
payment
or
information
by
is
crook.
necessary, but you do get an email receipt because you have to log in with an email and create a password. None of it costs anything, no payment information required, and you can see it all, including Matthew's 5:9, the one that took over 10 years to make. It's at least 1,000 hours of animation work. I sent it to 100 festivals. It got 16 recognitions, and it was a finalist up against Animation Studios. So, that's the one you want to see.
I love my
and
job.
that's the only place you can see it,
Understand the Billings
animatintherimage.ca.
building.
So, and you can
When
see
will
it for
we see you
free with
joyful
a
as
free
always?
3-hour subscription.
Some
I
not
gotta plug this
cowboy.
stuff.
To
So,
some, gangster love.
So
Keep swinging
the adoption
wildly
of
when the
whole and
shepherd
part
steps.
thinking, it'll
Blow up and you're
rend the
sucked in.
veil between divinity and yourself.
Triage inappropriate if diagnosis
It's
decapitating.
challenging. It's really challenging.
When lost,
But if
stay
you're not
there.
willing to enter the chaos, you're not willing to be transformed, and you won't be transformed, and you won't see the new world. So, the kingdom of heaven is here. You just have to see it. Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is here. He didn't say, blessed are the poor, for they'll die and go to heaven, some mystical state. He didn't say, blessed are the poor because they're poor. He didn't say, blessed are the poor because they will be rich. None of that. He said, blessed are the poor, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. They are in the kingdom of heaven. They have, like, if you take a billionaire looking at some guy on the shop floor, sweeping with one hand.
I love my job.
You know, like, who's in heaven? The billionaire suffering the fact that he's paying that guy? Or the guy sweeping the floor knowing that he's only got 3 hours left in his shift, and all he has to do is sweep. And probably the billionaire is not watching him. But in this case he is. There you go. So have fun.
Up and you're sucked in.
So that's pretty much all I want to say today. It's long enough. We'll see what the response is. And get your book, HESUS JOY CHRIST. Search HESUS JOY CHRIST on lulu.com. But before you do that, in this book,
next time
there's like 4 or 5 times I have a section called How to Pick Up a Stick. It's basically 1,000 words on how to pick up a stick. It is all relevant, it is all meaningful, and the whole 1,000 words is useless. You're not going to read it. You're not going to care about how to pick up a stick if you're working for a landscaper and all this stuff. Basically, this whole book is not necessary. Just get the free 3-hour subscription at animatingintheirimage.ca. There is possessive. Get the free 3-hour subscription, watch the animation. If it strikes you as interesting, you can watch it more and more, as many times as you want that free 3-hour subscription. And then you just, if you think it's worth it, I got Matthew 6 cents coming. And those are available on animatingintheirimage.ca. Those 3 2 previews and a production video. So if you subscribe, that money, like all this animation is already paid for. If you subscribe, that's my Kickstarter. And you can, basically for $3.33, you can get it for a day or something like that. Or $30, you get it for a year. That money goes towards buying me time to work on HESUS JOY CHRIST, Matthew 6 cents, of which you can see 2 previews. So this is a Kickstarter. This is it. This is now. This is like, do it today. Animatingintheirimage.ca. Thank you for your time. Thanks for watching to the end. I got so much to do, and it's best presented in animation. Support the animation with the Kickstarter at animatingintheirimage.ca. Get all the animation I've created over 20 years. About 30 minutes of animation. Yes, it's labor intensive.
Understand
in the neighborhood of 40,000 hours of work.
Joyful as always. Not cowboy.
$40,000 of work. About 10,000 hours. Maybe.
Up and you're sucked in.
I can't remember. 5,000 hours.
Triage
work.
inappropriate.
Anyways,
if diagnosis
thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this.
Stay there.
And go to animatingintheirimage.ca today. Have a great day. Enjoy it.
Attention.